In today's video we're looking at hammers and other associated hitting tools that you might find in a general workshop. What I have in front of you here is one of the most common hammers that people know about, which is the claw hammer. It's used mainly for construction style work and general purpose nailing. In a workshop or in a cabinet workshop, the Warrington hammer or the cross pane hammer is one that we use more often. It's smaller, it's easy to use, it can be used with much more finesse and finer detail work. The mallet, or the wooden mallet, is used for when you're doing chiseling work, mainly because when you're using a chisel, a lot of the modern chisels now only have plastic handles. If you go hitting those with a regular hammer, the heavy hammer is going to damage the back of the chisel. If it was an old wooden style handle, it's going to damage this handle a lot more unless it has a metal tang on the back of it to help protect it. Now, since I'm holding that one, I'll go into how this might be used. Just say you want to chisel out part of a housing joint or similar, you'd use your chisel and have it secured, and then you use the mallet to basically give the chisel a bit of a hit. You notice I was being fairly light with it. I wasn't giving it a good bash. The time when you might be giving it a good bash is if you're trying to make a mortise and tenon joint, which you'd have a smaller chisel as well and giving it a lot more of a hit. But used for lighter work and also for using for tapping timber pieces together when you're doing joinery, because the timber surface of a wooden mallet is less likely to bruise or damage your timber. The claw hammers are used for much larger style nails. Generally in the construction industry you've got your larger construction nail. All hammers should be held right at the back of the handle. You don't want to choke a hammer up at this point. Holding them back here gives you more of a swing. You can usually get the hammer to go more precisely where you want it. And I don't need to use a lot of effort to do that. You'll notice I've got two different style hammers here, one with a wooden handle, one with a metal handle. It's just a different manufacturing style. They're all pretty much the same. You could use these hammers for getting some of these size nails in. Now, the claw part of a claw hammer is used for getting the nails out, but this curve here is what's used to help give you the leverage that you want. You don't try and grab a nail like this and pull straight up. You sit it down like that and use the leverage of the hammer to try and pull it out. Similar with smaller nails that you can do that with. As long as the head is big enough for the claw to grab hold of, you can use it to get it out. If you were using the Warrington hammer, obviously it doesn't have that claw on the back, so you'd need to use a pair of pincers. Same thing, it's not used to try and pull straight up. You use the curve to give you that leverage to pull it over. Warrington hammers are used more often or not in cabinet work because you've got much smaller nails. This is a 20mm nail, close to a 3/4 inch. You can use the smaller head. You're less likely to hit your fingers, lighter taps to start and get your work. If you wanted to get that back out, you'd use your pincers and just roll it out. Where a Warrington hammer comes in to its own is when you're using much smaller panel pins. These ones are 12mm or a 1/2 inch pin. Now, it's fairly hard to hold on to, and the last thing I want to do is go bashing my fingers, so the back of the hammer, the cross pane, can be used to just lightly tap the back of the nail in between my fingertips to get it started, and then I can finish my work. Now again, you notice I'm holding the hammer right up at the back of the handle, getting my full swing. Choking the hammer like this is where you might find a lot of people bend the nails more often, because they have to do more effort and there's more chance of the head of the hammer moving around. So hold it right back. You don't have to use a lot of effort to hammer in a nail like this. I'm using the weight of the hammer to do all of that work. So they're the common hammers that we have in our workshop. This one's going to be used most of the time with all the cabinetry work and small project work. This is more for construction work. This is used for your chiselling.